happening, this is what's there to say. And I just want to briefly speak on a manager who's on the siege. That's the current Chelsea manager, Graham Potter. Right now, things aren't looking good, and I understand that as a person, just in general, as a person, you want to give yourself challenges, and you want to be ambitious and prove that you can do things on a high level when it comes to talent. And that's certainly what Graham Potter was thinking, because I've always respected him as a manager at Swansea and Brighton. And at Brighton he was doing good things. He was keeping them up, making them a solid team in the Premier League. And once Thomas Tuchel got fired, Chelsea approached him to become for him to become the new manager. And of course, ideally, most people would say yes to such an opportunity to become manager of a big club. And so, right now, he took the role, left Brighton, took over as manager of Chelsea. Brought Caicedo with him from Brighton, Cucurella, sorry, and it just hasn't worked out so far. Right now, Chelsea are 10th in the Premier League, and so honestly, they've just had a transfer window in January where they spent over 300 million. Crazy. On like about 8 to 10 players. It's hard to count. Enzo Fernandez, Modric, Castro, the defender, can't remember his name, French defender. And so they signed so many players. Felix on loan, that's a loan signing, but still part of Chelsea at the moment. And results haven't gone their way, and it feels like I think one of the main issues is Potter. So far, he seems content in making every player happy in that squad. I think that's an issue. That's a problem, because quite frankly, not every player in that squad deserves to be made happy, because they've been rubbish for Chelsea. They've been useless for Chelsea, which is why different managers have been sacked. And so whether it was Lampard, Tuchel, and so I think Graham Potter just needs to go in there and play the team that he feels gives him the best chance of winning, regardless of how certain players may feel if they're left out. And I think that's the issue. You need to have just from the outside looking in, at least. And so I think you need to have, when you take on a big job like this, you need to have a strong personality where you're not going to be messed with. And it seems that the players don't respect him because of he's never managed at this level. And I think being a manager of Chelsea, you need to be well experienced at a high level, to the point where instantly the Chelsea players would respect you as a manager. And I don't feel like Graham Potter has that. And I've always said that for me personally speaking, that this was a bad matchup from the beginning. If Graham Potter wanted to go to a Big Six club, it should have been Spurs. Spurs would have been a much better fit. And so because that's more of a project club than Chelsea, quite frankly. And so I think from what it seems like, Chelsea board have written the season off again, and they're gonna try this approach of going through a process, which is what, you know, in the last 20 years that they were owned by Abramovich before you got Sanchez and sold to Toboli. You know, Chelsea have always been a club that is after instant success, produce trophies, and so I think now under the new ownership of Toboli, who to me is very clueless, but you know, that's another story for another day. The fact is, I don't know if this will become a success, because there doesn't seem to be an alignment between Potter and Todd Bowley of what is needed for this team to be successful. And so you know, I very much doubt that Graham Potter's having a say in the players that were signed during this past transfer window in January. And so he's under pressure, he's under siege. Chelsea fans want him out. Some Chelsea fans want to give him a chance. I think next season is when the jury's going to come out and of whether he stays or goes. And so well, because at some point progress has to start being shown on the pitch with results. And yeah, you know, it's just, you know, being a manager is such a stressful job, because you know, it's a results business, and if there's no, if bad results are being shown game after game, then and which goes along with, you know, the bad performances, then it's not going to help. It's going to be a disaster from the get-go. And I think Graham Potter just needs to have more of a fierce, combative, or just like a in a similar way to what Arteta to what Mikel Arteta did at Arsenal, and he had no experience, but he went in there with a attitude that it's my way or the highway. So I think Graham Potter, you know, I think this is a new environment for him, managing at a top level, and he's gonna have to, you know, have some cojones and deal with the players that are undermining him, if that's the case. And so we'll see what happens. I wish him the best of luck. Obviously, from a rival's fan point of view, it's funny to watch, because you know, you don't like, because Chelsea, you know, they can be an unbearable club and you want them to fail. You want them to be misery. You want misery for them. Like, nothing but misery. And so, all the best of luck to Potter. Hopefully he can turn it around. I do think he's a good manager, and potentially elite at top level, or maybe he's not destined to manage at a big club. Quite frankly, maybe a team like a Leeds or a Everton or West Ham may be more his ceiling. So yeah, I mean, in a way this could be good for him in just to kind of find out for himself where his ceiling as a manager is, essentially. But we'll see what happens. That's all I have to say. Take care. God bless.